All right. Welcome into the second episode of Endzone Experts. We normally will have an intro in here. It still hasn't been finished, but you'll see cool flashing video and lights and stuff once it gets started eventually here.
I want lightning bolts. So
yeah, we want like lightning bolts and rain and wind and fire. Yeah, you want
rock show, man.
yeah, you'll get our mugs in a better view. But yeah, so it's the second episode. We're in the second week of the NFL season. Again, I'm HypeFFL or Greg, and my partner.
Oh, Chris Nalls. That's my intro. Sorry. I was looking down. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
At Chris Nalls NFL on X.
Yes.
And just Chris Nalls. I don't have a cool. I don't have a cool name. I need your hype. I need to be like. I don't know, man. Like Thunder Lightning or something. I don't know why I hooked up on lightning.
Yeah. You like the lightning.
Yes.
Yeah. The lightning bolts are cool, man.
No, I don't have a cool name. I'm just me.
Just me. Hey, it's cool enough. It's cool. Chris Nalls works for me. I like it. Yeah. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna kind of go over a few different segments that we're bringing into the show. The first one's gonna be react or relax. Players that you should react to or you should relax with and just be just fine. Don't worry about it. There was just a bad week. And then we're gonna get into our players of the week. It's the guys we're gonna like our start sit. We're gonna do guys that we think are good starts for the week, and then what we call the pine players of the week, riding the pine, the bench players, guys we want to sit. And then we're going to give you our smash play of the week, like the one player that we think like is going to be a home run. And before we get into all of that, we are going to open things up with what we promised as the Q&A section. We try to reach out, have you guys send us in some questions, and we can answer them on here. Of course, being a new early in inception show, it's tough to get a lot right now, but we were able to find ourselves a few of them. And I was gonna pull them up on screen, but you know what? I'll do it in editing. So the first question that we're gonna have answered, and Chris kind of answered it on X instead of saving it. But that's okay. That's all right. First question is to start Herbert or Prescott this week. And Chris, because you've already answered it, I'm gonna give this one to you.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. I just felt like I needed to oblige, and I messed that up. But yeah, no, I would start Justin Herbert. I like what he did last week, week one, I should say. And although Dax didn't look bad either,
he looked good. It was the guys catching the ball. He still was throwing dots, but yeah.
Yes, I think he looked really good as well. But if it just has to come down to one or the other, because I think if you have both of those quarterbacks on your roster, I think you're going to be fine, right? Yeah. But if I had to lean between one, me personally, I just think Herbert's just a little bit better. That's it. It's really not I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I just think Herbert's just a tiny bit better than Dax. That's all.
Yeah.
But you won't go wrong with either.
Right. The situation's great, and like Prescott's gonna ball. It's very clear. Like honestly, the Lamb drops probably, and the drop for Ferguson in the end zone like completely changed Prescott's week. And like in the next segment, I didn't actually put him in, but in the react or relax thing, like you can just relax on Prescott. He'll be fine if he's your starter. Just you're good with him. But yes, if you're choosing between the two because of what Herbert did to the Chiefs, he's got his boy, Keenan Allen back. I agree. I think if I have to choose it, I'm taking Herbert.
Yeah.
Another question that we got on X was a Bo Nix or Justin Fields question, and I'm just gonna take this one first. And I've been screaming Justin Fields from the top of my lungs since May or June. He proved me right. That's my guy. I love Justin Fields. fantasy, he's a absolute baller. Like if he's playing football, he's starting for a team, you have to start Justin Fields. It's clear he came to a good system and the coach believes in him, and people talking about him not being able to throw, that was never really the issue. He had some weird passes, but it was like processing more than anything, and it feels like he's cleaned that up. He just torched a very, like, one of the top 5 defenses in the league, and with his legs and his arm, and I don't think it's going to change. So I think Justin Fields, if you've got him, there's no one else you're starting. If you happen to have Josh Allen, then yeah, sure. But Justin Fields, you're starting him, no questions asked.
Yeah, I mean, there's not any argument with me on that. You know how I feel about the other guy, Nick. So
yeah.
I think Justin Fields is an incredibly great fantasy quarterback, and he doesn't get, in my opinion, in the fantasy football community, he gets a lot of love. But I think there are just some people that kind of, I don't want to say are down or frown upon him because he's not like a top 5 quarterback, but man, he always produces, and the big upside with Fields obviously is his legs. I mean, rushing and throwing touchdowns. He's just a weapon. He's just a huge weapon. So yeah, I'm with you on that, hands down. 100%.
Yeah. And I know you're kind of a Bo Nix disbeliever. I don't hate Bo Nix, and I don't think people don't realize, because of how bad Tennessee was last year, that they had the best passing defense in the league, and that was actually a tough outing for both of those quarterbacks, and they're both going to be fine. Bo Nix will still be fine. He's not going to be better than Justin Fields, in my opinion, so no matter what, I'm taking Fields there.
Yeah, I don't hate Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I just thought kind of, and I'm not going to touch too much on this again, but there were just a lot of inconsistencies with Nix last year. And I think, again, people just looked at the total bottom line, the dollar amount at the bottom of the invoice, and they ended up going, wow, 33 touchdowns. And then I get that part, but if you look at his games, they were very inconsistent. And week 2, he may come out for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 100. I mean, that's what you kind of will get with Nix. You don't know what he's fixing to give you. And to me, that's kind of like a dangerous combination. There's just the lack of consistency. But we'll get into Nix later.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's get to our next question here. The next one was from a friend of mine in the community chat that I'm in. He asked, would you trade Nico Collins for Chase Brown, Calvin Ridley, and Javonte Williams? I am going to let you start with that one because I feel weird about this. But yeah, you start. Let me think.
It sounds like you're getting a lot, because I think Chase Brown to me is like the only prize in that, really. I don't believe what you saw from Javonte Williams in week 1 is going to keep. I'm not saying he'll be bad, but I don't think you're going to see that week in, week out. And then what was the wide receiver?
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I'm just not I'm over Calvin Ridley. It seems like on paper it's a lot, but I just no. Nico, you're trying to buy a little too low on him. I get what that person's trying to do, but no. If I had Nico, I'm not trading him for that. I'm going to need more. I'm going to need more. That's a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly you touched on it well. I think it's kind of like either the guy looking to sell Nico is panicking, or the guy trying to buy him is trying to invest in the panic. And honestly, I don't think I would either. Listen, Ridley's my guy, but he ain't no top 5. Like, he's not going to be a top 5 receiver this year, and he is somebody, he's going to do a lot better than he did last week. Like I said, Cam Ward drew the worst starting freaking starting game to have, the first defense he's got to play. And he kind of drew another really bad one because the Rams defense is also here to ball out this year, apparently. So it's going to be a tough couple of weeks, but Ridley's going to be just fine and he's going to flourish. But Nico's going to be better than him. Chase Brown is plenty fine. Javonte Williams is the big hang up, right? Because you don't really know what he is yet. And he scored a couple touchdowns for Dallas. If they're getting to the goal line and they're doing that a lot, then sure, he's probably going to have good consistency. But when you look at his actual final stat line of that game, he didn't have a whole lot of yards per rush. He had a couple of good runs, and he looked like he's better. And I think as the year moves on, he's going to increasingly get better because he's coming off of that really bad injury. But all of that, Nico's the best player in that trade, and you want the best player in a trade, so don't do it. Keep Nico. Yeah, just save Nico. He'll be fine. He's going to explode this week, and people will be like, oh, whoops, I shouldn't have freaked out about Nico. Yeah. And just wanted to touch really quickly just on something that happened last week, just before the games. I think either Sunday morning or Saturday evening, we were randomly sort of asked about starting Pearsall or David Montgomery, and we both said Pearsall for sure. And look at that. It was obviously the right decision. So we just wanted to tip our hats to ourselves a little bit for hey, look, our advice worked for a question. So
we don't do this just for the fun of it, guys.
Yeah. It's all business around here.
It's all business here, babe. Yeah. We're not the Endzone Experts for no reason. Bro.
That's right. We're here for business. We're gonna win you, but no, it is for fun. But we want to try to show some things that we get right to help you get an idea of us and whether or not you should trust in us, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you to trust us. All right, so that's going to be it for the Q&A this week. Hopefully, as this show carries on, we'll start getting some more to choose from and everything. I think those ones are really good, though. They're not bad questions. Those are real questions that people are going to be thinking about in their following week or two. So this is the first real segment that we have on our show here is going to be called React or Relax. And yeah, me too. I think it's really great, especially for week one. It's probably it's probably not a running segment, but it's good for the first couple of weeks of a season. So especially week one, it's the biggest one. So we're gonna talk to you about players that you should react to, who you need to be worried about and should do something about, and then players that you can just relax on. It was a bad week. Life goes on. And I'm going to just start it off with my first player, and that's going to be A.J. Brown in the React column, because something is going on. And I was already low on him before the season just because of the setup of their offense. But I didn't know. I started hearing about it just after the game that he had been dealing with some hamstring issue. And on top of that, he was, seemingly blanketed by Dallas' secondary, and something's going on. Jalen Hurts wasn't even looking at him. You know what I mean? It was, but, Devonta Smith didn't get much either. I think it's maybe the way the game fell. Dallas was unexpectedly good against the pass. But, it's scary, and I'm worried. And he's not a player that I'd be trying to do something. I'm either sitting him to wait and see what happens. I'm trying to trade him with someone who's thinking they're getting a good deal. I would do something about him if I had him. I have 0 of him, but if I did, I would do something about it. Yeah.
I'm not too. It's hard. It's Thursday night game, or when was that? Thursday or that was Thursday?
It was Thursday.
Look, I despise Thursday night games.
I do.
It's absurd. Javonte Williams last year was never even heard of, right? In this game, he comes out in balls.
Yeah.
It's always the most unexpected players on Thursday nights that perform. I don't know why that is. It just happened. And I'm not worried about him, but I say that because it's week one. Like it's hard to say worry about someone. And the guy I'm going to tell you is I'm worried about too. But I don't want to say worried. Maybe that's a bad way of saying it.
Okay.
React would be better the way you put it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it was the game, man. I don't think it's him. I think it's just the game.
My only rebuttal to that is it was the opener, so they had all the time. It wasn't like they were coming off of a Sunday game. Mm-hmm. So, because totally agree on the Thursday night game stuff. The opener, I feel, doesn't have quite the same slack for that. But it is the first game, and they're always kind of weird. So it happens. It's just how drastically bad. Like Brown wasn't even getting looked at, kind of stuff. Like that's why I feel a little concerned about what's going on there. But yeah,
if that happens this week, I'll jump in on the worry train. Yeah. What were his stats last week, by the way?
One catch for 8-ish yards.
Okay.
Yeah. One target.
Look, Nico didn't do that much better, and I'm talking as a Texan fan now.
Yeah.
But again, I just think that if we're seeing that type of stat, maybe 2-3 weeks in, we got problems.
Yeah,
it's definitely time.
Yeah,
but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we don't have to agree on everything. That's what we're here to talk that stuff out. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Who's a player that you have for the react?
My react, and I'm going to go. Look, everybody knows I follow the Texans mostly, more than any team. I'm just a huge fan of them. But I'm reacting to CJ Stroud a little bit. I'm not overly worried, but I am reacting because I feel we're picking up where we just left off from last year. And that kind of has me a little like the last year, I think I gave Stroud much more of a longer leash. Mm-hmm. This year, I'm not because we've had the offseason, we've had the draft. You've done everything that you supposedly should have done to fix everything. And you come out and you throw for 188 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's not going to cut it. So we need to, next week really needs to be I'm serious about this. Next week, if he's not performing, he's going to my bench or possibly traded. I just have to be upfront about that because I don't. Year 1, he was phenomenal. Year 2, took a step back. Okay, line was bad offensive play calling.
Yeah,
I get bad offensive line, but we gotta we gotta progress, and we're not progressing. So that gets me more, I guess, upset than worried. But that's my reaction. So next week is really, or after this week, you'll see how I really feel about CJ Stroud. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I in a super flex, I have him, Dak Prescott, and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
And CJ Stroud ain't starting. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You and I get it. I totally get it. In one of my leagues, I have Stroud, Penix, and Young. Mm-hmm. I've got a relatively young team, but I'm
Yeah, that's a tough one. Bryce Young's looking a little scary too.
It's give and take, and the crazy thing is right now, based off of just what I know from the Texans, I trust Bryce Young to kind of turn it up a little bit more than Stroud, and that's crazy to say based off of how their careers have happened. But,
I totally agree. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, good info. I have one other one that I could think of because it being the first week, it's you don't want to get crazy, but David Montgomery, he's even with Gibbs there, he's always been absolutely worth a start. He gets a share, he gets touchdowns, he gets touches in important places, makes big plays. He did pretty much nothing this last week, and it feels like like again, week one. I'm not trying to get crazy, but it feels like the fall of the Detroit Empire. It might be starting because Ben Johnson being gone, they lost two of their like best O linemen, and it's clear that has some kind of an effect on the team.
Yeah.
So Montgomery, and like I said, I did think the O line changing would have the biggest effect on Montgomery, and it seems like maybe it has. I mean, it's not like Gibbs did a lot either, but he got 10 catches. He was still, at least in fantasy, he was viable, and he was very clearly they wanted him touching the ball. So Montgomery's got me a little bit scared, a little nervous. And if you could offload him for somebody, I would. I definitely wouldn't start him. You have to find somebody to start in place of him until he can prove that it's okay. But I don't have a lot of faith.
No, my cut runs a little deeper with David Montgomery. I don't think he's a bad player.
No,
but at the end of the day, in just playing football, he's an RB2, and I know he'll get carries, and I know he'll get some touches, and he will produce from time to time. But to me, I'm a consistency guy, and Jahmyr Gibbs is consistent. Well, he is consistent for the long term. Mm-hmm. I just can't start. It's just hard for me to start an RB2. I mean, if you're in a deep league and that's what you have, then cool, Montgomery's perfect if he's your flex. But if he's like a RB2 on your squad, man, you really need to be digging for a first string running back, starting running back.
Exactly.
And a little story. I one of the most insane trades I've ever seen was him and I forgot some of the players for Saquon Barkley last year. And Barkley was traded because of his quote unquote age. And I'm a big age guy, but the guy rushed for 2,000 yards. And I thought the trade was absolutely buffoonery. And it came to be, it was buffoonery. And now it's even more cemented it. So, yeah, do I like Montgomery? Sure. If he's on my bench, spot flex, bye week kind of flex guy, I'm perfect. But if he's starting in my lineup, man, I'm doing what I can to find a starting running back.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's me.
No, I agree. I think that's exactly the way to put it. Like you have to figure something out. If he's like a part of your starting lineup, you've got to figure something out.
If he's a part of your starting, you've got to you have to have your expectations in this though. Hype is if he's starting, right? He's not getting close to all of those touches. So he's going to have those with Jahmyr.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that means every single opportunity he's going to have to score at least a 40 to 50-yard touchdown, have some passes thrown his way.
Yeah.
By the way, there's another guy also that's really damn good at running back that's going to vie for some of those. But it just I don't know. That's just me. I don't like to be put in those situations.
Me either. Yeah, I completely agree. Everything is spot on there. Montgomery's not a guy that I would be happy about having on my team currently.
Yeah.
Do you have any other players to react to? Anything else?
I don't right now, just because there's not enough.
Yeah.
Just not enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not enough meat to bite onto. Yeah, there's we don't know. It's just like the couple that we feel the most like, there might be a problem here. But we still don't know for sure. Just week one. Okay, cool. Then we'll move on to the players that you can relax about. Guys that had a bad week, but simmer down. It's just really not that deep. It's gonna be okay. We can kind of do these ones really quick, like Jamar Chase. Yeah. All right, hammer it. Let's hear it.
I would say every one of them. It's just not time to panic. It's week one. I know people like to sound the alarm, but it's like we don't. You just got through 2 pages of the book. We're not there yet. I need to see a little bit more before I could say, oh no, this guy. No, that's me though. That's me. So
Yeah, no, 100%. I Tuesday, which is yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it was Monday. I wrote a big post about like things we can actually take away from week one. And the big thing that I put in there was the wide receiver one problem. And it
Mm-hmm.
felt like a ton of these leading wide receivers on these teams just had these really bad off weeks. And all of them, you need to just relax. Like I said, Jamar Chase, but the Bengals offense as a whole, they all had the Cleveland defense is very real. Like that defense is still one of the best in the league, and the Bengals start slow, and like it's just this stuff happens. It's Terry McLaurin. A lot of people are terrified of Terry, thinking he's cooked. Dude, he didn't have a training camp. You know, he's going to take a week or two to kind of. I hope people knew that and expected that coming into the season, but he's going to take some time to get up to speed. And it's Jahmyr Gibbs. No matter what, like he's gonna put points out. Nico Collins, we touched on him earlier. Like you put it well though. I pretty much everybody other than maybe the two or three that we discussed being like nervous about. Everybody's fine. It's like on the waiver wire, you know, I was going through them on in a couple of my leagues, and I'm like, I don't need any of these people. Like,
Yeah.
even though like I put out waiver wire stuff for people who might need it because you never know with injuries and things, but I just chilling. Even the players that I had, some of these players, it's okay. Like it's just week one. You really don't have to get shaken yet. It's got a lot of season to go. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Who's is there anyone that's like maybe you're in the middle on, like maybe you want to keep an eye on? You kind of you're looking to see. You might not start them this week. You want to feel out what's going on.
Well, I'm definitely starting him, but I definitely want to see more, and that's Michael Penix. I've been a fan.
Yeah.
He had 298 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. I think offensive wide for Atlanta, it's loaded.
Yeah.
And I'm eager to see more of Penix. I think Penix is going to be pretty good, so he kind of has my eye for next week. And then again, I Spencer Rattler. I was pretty impressed with what I saw. He was decent. I think there's still some more to be desired for, but he wasn't that bad. I think Jawan Johnson dropped that pass that would have tied the game.
Yeah,
and I think if he would have caught that, I think things would have been obviously way different for Rattler in terms of, you know, he's a hero kind of thing. But I think what you're seeing is a young quarterback growing in New Orleans. Is he the future? I don't know about that, but you definitely you can only get better, I guess is what I'm saying or trying to say. And so far, based off of what they did and how they handled Arizona, I thought he played pretty good.
Yeah. He had composure and back, like I think I discussed this in our last episode, but I was on a podcast back at the beginning of training camp with Tyler, and he, you know, one of the discussions was the Saints quarterback room, and I said, like, Spencer Rattler's the guy that I think starts. He's going to win the job. He's the guy who's been there. He's got the connection with players already, and you can only get better. So unless you're Nathan Peterman, you can only get better. That guy threw like 3 picks every time he touched a football. So unless you're Nathan Peterman, there's only room to go up. And like I think just more reps with the first team. Like Spencer Rattler has talent. It's there. They just need to play call a little better for him. And you know, he needs, if he can build some confidence. Yes, catch the ball, and like he just built a little more confidence, and I think he's someone who is. I agree with that. You could keep an eye on, and my 2 main ones are the quarterbacks from the Monday night game, JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams. Williams still had a good fantasy output. essentially. But things got weird in the back half of that game, and then things got weird in the right way for JJ McCarthy. I think like something finally clicked. He started adjusting to the defenses, approaching his plays better, and he started to figure it out. And that could, if that keeps happening, these Vikings are going to be a real problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, Caleb Williams feels weird and shaky. So he's someone I just want to keep an eye on. See what happens this next week and see how he comes back from that comeback loss, a really tough loss in prime time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so let's get into the next segment here. This is our players of the week. Essentially, I'm just making some kind of a name for starts. These are the guys that we feel like if you've got them on your team, you should start them. I kind of went with the approach of like, I'm not going to talk about like Jamar Chase, CD Lamb. Like we're talking about kind of that like flex, maybe the running back 2, wide receiver 2 or 3, depending on the build of your roster, and tight ends and things. Like we're talking about those players that you're actually wondering, who do I start? Not the guys that are automatic lock starts every week. Maybe 1 or 2 in there because things happen, but that's who we're gonna aim for. So if you've got a couple, I think we'll start it with you, Chris. I'm gonna have you kind of go over the running backs and some of the players.
Well, I mean, I did absolutely the opposite of what you said.
Okay.
When I penciled in some players, I went in with players that are well known, but I think will produce this week.
Okay, you know what? That's actually perfectly fine. That'll be good because then we kind of have both sides of it, so that works.
Cool.
Yeah.
For running back, and I chose one player for each position too.
Okay.
I don't have multiples, but
Yeah.
running back, I've got Kyren Williams versus the Titans.
Okay. Yeah.
Based off of what, and this is just based off of the small amount that we've seen so far.
Mhm.
Last week, you had R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins combined for a total of 133 yards. I think Harvey had 70 yards and Dobbins had 63. And I think Kyren Williams is better than both of those players. So I think he will eat against the Titans. So
yeah,
he's a player that I am going to be starting if I had him on my roster.
Cool.
Running.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's Kyren Williams, I think, is a good smash play this week. To the Broncos running backs real quick. RJ Harvey got all of his yards kind of on one run, but which it's because that's going to lead into something I'm going to bring up in a minute here. Which, you know what, I'll use that to segue into it. Is one of my running backs that are the starts that I would start this week is J.K. Dobbins. He clearly had the lead role in that backfield, and like you discussed, that he looked good. I think he looked good. He had all the work. I mean, they cycled in a couple other guys as well, but Dobbins was the lead back, and I don't think that changes yet, at least for a couple weeks. I think they really want Harvey to get himself involved in this offense, really carve his role out. I don't see it happening super early. So J.K. Dobbins is a big play. Zach Charbonnet, I don't know what's going on with Walker, if they're easing him into work because of some like that injury stuff from training camp. But Charbonnet also led that backfield, and he's so awesome. And I wish he didn't go to Seattle, so he was behind Ken Walker. He should have gone somewhere where he could start because he'd be a fantasy stud right now. I love Charbonnet. James Conner, he's going to carve up the defense this week. And Travis Etienne, just because he's going up against Cincy's defense. So
Bonafide
RB1. I'm a little tentative on it because he did play the worst defense possible. So like that helps. But yeah, he looked like he was back. And he plays another bad one, so might as well just take him again this week. And Dylan Sampson for now. I say it tentatively because again they played the Bengals, and some of his rushing wasn't super great, but his receiving was. But as long as Judkins isn't playing ball there, I think Sampson's the guy that you can take. So yeah, Dylan Sampson is my last running back to start this week. Moving on to wide receivers. Give us your guy that you want to start this week.
I'm going, and I've got to go Nico Collins on this. Just they're playing the Bucks. Last week, Bijan Robinson had 6 receptions, over 100 yards receiving, not rushing, receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pitts and London had both over 50 yards receiving. So I just, again, this is where we were talking about, kind of relaxing. I think Nico bounces back. There's no way he's going to have another game of just 5. I think it was 5 receptions, and I don't know if you could look that up, but it was impressive.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was very bad. And then this kind of piggybacks off to my Stroud scenario. This is kind of where he needs to perform.
Mm-hmm. It was 3 catches for 25 yards.
Yeah, I mean come on.
That's not going to happen again.
That's not. I can't fathom that. Like, you've got to get your stud involved, and based off of what we saw last week, I mean, you had Pitts, London, Bijan all getting involved in that passing game. How does Nico not produce?
Agree. Yeah, he's definitely going to come back this week. It's a lot of these guys are like like I said earlier, Chases and McLaurins and all those guys. I mean, Jefferson's game wasn't even great. It was good. It was fine, but it wasn't great. Like, all these guys are going to come back in. A lot of things changed for these teams this year. So it's just some adjustments and week 1 weirdness. So they'll be fine. And like players like Keon Coleman, I think he's a big star again this week, because he proved it, thankfully, for me last week. He was the very first start sit thing I thought of last week was Keon Coleman. The Ravens, quietly led up the second most passing yards last year. He's coming into his second year with Josh Allen. He's the wide receiver 1. He's still on the team. Him and Shakir are the 2 guys still on the team from last year. So I think that's huge for him and his development, and he showed it playing against the Ravens. So it was clear Allen wanted to throw him the ball, and he looked awesome. Keenan Allen, another guy. Again, I touched on this earlier. He's back with Herbert. They have a connection. He looked really good. All like wheels up for Keenan. He's going to do great this year again. Probably not wide receiver 5 or higher. I don't think he's quite the same guy, of course, but Herbert leans on him.
He's going to get a lot more involved, I think, this year.
Yeah.
Remember, the draft capital they spent on Keon was very high, so they're not going to just forget him. And I don't think you're going to live through. I can't say his name. What's the wide receiver?
Shakir.
Yes, like you're not going to just survive off of him alone. You're going to have to get someone else involved. And why not a wide receiver you drafted really high, who had really good college career? And I think it was just kind of getting him used to the NFL. Sometimes wide receivers take a little while, and I think you're going to see a good turnaround for Keon Coleman this year.
Yeah. DK Metcalf, another guy that, like, I hate to admit it because I was really down on him this year, but it's clear that Rodgers is going to throw him the ball. Rodgers kept trying to get him the ball all the game, so he's somebody that looks good again for this week. Devonta Smith, he's going to have a comeback week. Like, I assume the Philly offense kind of as a whole does. People are sleeping on Devonta. I've seen some trades, people getting rid of him, and I don't think it's smart. I think he's going to be just fine. And then you got to relax. And Terry McLaurin, again, I touched on him earlier. And then Hollywood Brown, he's definitely, even if Worthy's not going to be right for a few weeks. Hollywood Brown is like league winning right now. 16 targets. Mahomes is going to toss the ball to him. Going to be another tough matchup against Philly. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So yeah, and Jacoby Myers, he's Gino's guy, and he had a pretty solid week last week. I think he has a better one this week. So
what were his stats last week? I'm just curious.
Jacoby's, I don't remember exactly, but I can find it super fast. Jacoby Myers. His stat line last week was 8 catches for 97 yards.
8 catches for 97 yards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he had catches and yards. He was used a lot in the offense. So I think he finds the end zone in this week and he boosts that a little bit. I think he's a great start this week, especially
keep tabs on Jacoby. You know,
yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do. I'm you know how I feel. I love him. So, maybe I'm slightly jaded here, or biased, but yeah, I love Jacoby. I think he's a good start. Who do you got for a quarterback? Who's the quarterbacks you're liking to start this week?
Quarterbacks, I'm circling back again. I'm going Penix.
Yeah.
Even though Caleb Williams last week against the Vikings had 210 yards, also rushed for 58 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I think Michael Penix is a better quarterback than Caleb Williams. And I don't care who hears me say that. I just truly do. I like Penix. And I think he actually probably beats the Vikes, unlike Williams. So yeah, he's my quarterback to start.
Yeah, I agree. I like him too. I actually forgot to put him in my list of players, but that works. So he's on here because Penix, I think after last week, he's at a point where if you're kind of trying to decide on your like second quarterback in Superflex or like, you took 2 late quarterbacks, Penix is probably going to be your better option, unless he's one of these guys, Justin Fields, who was after week 1 was only rostered in 60% of teams. What are we doing? When he plays, he's great. So if you got him on the waivers, you're starting him. JJ McCarthy, I think he's earned a start this week because, like I said in my Superflex dynasty that I have him in, like I'm playing him now over Stroud. So situations like that, I say just lean. If you're thinking about him or another one, just lean JJ. Dak Prescott, he's going to have a bounce back week. I promise you that. And Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's he's fine. He had just like a good week. It looked a little weird, but people sleep on the Saints defense all the time, and they're very solid. And again, week 1 weirdness. I think Kyler looks pretty good, and I think he keeps picking it up.
Yeah, he did. And you're right. The Saints defense, they did look. They looked pretty. They looked better than the Saints offense by far.
Yes.
I was pretty impressed with the Saints defense. I will say that.
Yeah. The Saints D is always they're always a hard outing for sure. Teams have a little trouble with them a lot. Yeah, and the last one, I know it's not your favorite like favorite players to go over, but the tight ends. Who's somebody you like for this week?
This is going to kind of contradict what I just said, but I've got to go with Hawkinson in Minnesota just because I think week 1 he literally did nothing. It was not a good game for him, and I just think they're going to get him involved a little bit more. And also, I have him on my dynasty team, so I'm rooting for him really hard. So
nice,
that's what I'm pushing.
Yeah, no, not a bad choice. I think he did have just like a tough week 1, but he should have he should come back a little better this week in the next few. Mine is like we're doing this again, Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts got 8 targets, man. That's a big deal. I picked him up. I had George Kittle in my main league and he's hurt. So who did I go get? Because I know everyone's going to blow their wad on Fannin. I grabbed Kyle Pitts. 8 targets is awesome. He gets in the end zone. He has an insane week. So, like, why not?
Everyone is going crazy with Fannin. And I'm just like, I don't know, Hype. I don't know if I want to say it just yet. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, why are we forgetting about Njoku, I guess?
I think because of the play time that he got. He was on the field a lot, and he got like bombarded with targets. I think it was 9, but I believe, but still, like that's a lot of targets for a tight end, and I think that's where that's coming from. And there's like this subgroup of people that were huge fan and truthers were trying to tell people like Cannon's a talented player, and it looks like maybe he is. I think that's where that's coming from, which is funny enough because I'm going to touch on him here in a little bit because he's not in my starts of the week. So, and it's just a couple of Mark Andrews. It's Mark Andrews. He had a bad week. Start him. He's fine. Jawan Johnson, he was a touchdown away from probably the best tight ends. Like the tight end week, had 11 targets. It is very apparent that he's the guy that Spencer Rattler is leaning on. So yeah, like he's going to be cheap because a lot of people aren't going to pay attention to that. So go get him off waivers, or if you have him, I say start him. And Jake Ferguson had just a drop in the end zone. He was close to having a big week. He's fine in that offense. And Hunter Henry's gotten a lot of targets, and he's going up against an okay defense. So I think Hunter Henry is definitely the kind of player that is worth a big start this week.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know, it's crazy. Jawan Johnson, he 8 receptions for 76 yards. And, the second guy behind him was Chris Olave. So I guess I say that, Jawan Johnson was kind of an afterthought in New Orleans, like when Carr was there. And it's, I don't know, it kind of, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but it's interesting to see guys that are getting used like Jawan Johnson and Chris Olave, who was right behind him with 7 targets. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to see how that grows a little bit. I don't think New Orleans is going to be, I'm not going to say as bad as what people thought, but there's a little bit of substance in New Orleans that I'm just really curious about. I don't know.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think I think he was very like touchdown dependent. Jawan Johnson was because he could score. He was a good red zone player, but he was touchdown dependent. But now that he's getting all these targets and Rattler likes getting him the ball, then I think this might finally jump him into that upper echelon. And I wanted to just go back on Chris Olave. I think you were looking at receptions. Chris Olave had 13 targets.
Hold tight.
He had 13. Hold tight.
7 receptions. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. 7. It's okay.
You are correct.
Yeah. 13 targets. That's insane. That's good for Olave. That's a quiet, like, whoa, look at Olave over here.
Considering that he had 13, Jawan Johnson had 11, and then Rashid Shaheed had 9. I mean,
wow.
I mean, those 3 are kind of your passing weapons, so to speak. I think that's good numbers for those 3. I mean, they're trying to get them involved. Yeah. They're passing the ball. I think Rattler was 27 for 46, 214 yards.
Yeah.
No touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 70.4 rating. I mean, there's stuff to build off of, I guess.
Yeah.
You just don't want to see that rating go down to like 40 or 50 because now we're going backwards, right?
Yeah.
If they could just pick that pace up a little bit more consistency, it's going to be interesting to see out of those 3 who's the one that really kind of excels. But from what I saw was, I think Olave's he could be sneaky this year. He could be sneaky.
Yeah, especially in fantasy. Like Olave seems to be primed for a good year, and it's clear like after those 3, they don't really have a lot of people they want to throw the ball to. So them and then Kamara are gonna get targeted and have control of this offense. So they're a very good buy for the season, the Saints offense, because after a couple of weeks things click a little better. I think they could really skyrocket in value.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. Cool. So that's the guys that we were interested in starting. Now we're going to go the other way, and we're going to start talking about the guys that you should probably keep on the bench. These are our pine players of the week. I can start this one up with, I've touched on a couple here with AJ Brown. He's somebody that I need to see it. As tough as it is, he was like a second round pick. Generally, like it's hard, but I think maybe bench him and see because if he has another bad week, he's probably losing you your week. And if you have somebody that you can trust a little more, at least you have a better shot at winning. So he's a guy, Jameson Williams, that Detroit offense being a little, he didn't get much. I don't like him. Jalen Waddle, I see people starting him. Don't know why. Don't do it. And probably Jaden Reed. This is what Jaden Reed does. He blows up for a week and then he disappears for 3. So that you got your week out of him. If you start him, sit him because he's gonna burn you. I can trust you. You can trust me on that one. And last would be Calvin Ridley. My guy, love him. It's another really hard defensive outing. Don't play him this week, as much as I hate saying it. Wait one more week and then put him in your lineup and let him do the work for you. Just not this week. Who do you got?
Well, for wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy. I do not believe Joe Flacco is anything close to Josh Allen, and this will not be a high-scoring game. So I do not believe Jerry Jeudy will produce. Now, here's the crazy thing is I have to start him because my bench is just incredibly weak. So, but I'm not here for me. Just proves I'm not here for me. I'm here for you all. If you have Jerry Jeudy benching, running back, and like I said earlier, I did one per running back. I'm Tony Pollard. I'm benching.
Good call.
The Rams held Texans to 114 total yards between 6 players and 0 touchdowns. So I don't think Tony Pollard is going to do that well. My favorite and your favorite quarterback, Bo Nix versus the Colts. I think last week Tua had 114 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
I think based off of what Nix did last week, this is kind of one of those. We're going to go to this. You don't know. I'm going to bench him.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to feed kind of right back off that Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
I know people raved that he was going to just take the Broncos to this another worldly level of just superiority in passing. And I'm just, I don't see it because, again, it ties hand in hand with the quarterback. So I thought that was kind of easy. That was kind of a layup for me. But those are my benches, man. I don't like any of those matchups.
Yeah, I agree with all of them. Like all of that makes sense. You brought up Jerry Jeudy, and all honesty, like I am like the guy in front, like leading the marching band for the truthers of Cedric Tillman. Always have been, and I don't have him as a sit, but this is going to be completely different than the last game for the Ravens, and they're going to smother the hell out of the Browns. And I think that the Browns are probably, as a whole, I would probably sit. Even if you got Fannin, I think I sit him because this week makes me nervous. The Ravens are going to they're mad about their loss. They're going to come in wanting, like Derrick Henry is going to stiff arm someone 6 feet into the ground, and they're going to put a headstone right there because he's going to kill people this week. Like they're mad, and they're going to prove that they still got it.
I just hope all the Fannin fan club members keep the same energy in week 2.
Yes.
Because I think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be very
bad. He's fine to, like, I grabbed him in the league to stash him. He's great to stash, see what happens. But, like, I don't think I'm starting him this week. Yeah. I want to see it more before I put him in the lineup and risk, potentially having a bad week over it. But, yeah, the running backs, I put Dylan Sampson in the start just because like somebody's got to do something, and I'm still even a little worried about him. Well, like RJ Harvey being behind Dobbins, we talked about that earlier. Javonte Williams, I don't know if I start him this week. I feel like that may have been some fool's gold, and I want to see what he does for another week before he goes in my line. I have a lot of him because I took late shots on him, and I'm not starting him still. So I'm gonna wait and see what's going on.
Sure.
Tyrone Tracy, the Giants offense looks bad. Tony Pollard, you already covered. Like, no, thank you. Nick Chubb, just because that whole backfield just feels gross right now. And DeAndre Swift. I'm not big on DeAndre Swift, it's known, but clearly I felt like he had a good game. I watched the game. I was just laying in bed and I was watching it. And I'm like, man, Swift had a good week. He got a bunch of passes. No, he had not that great of a week. So DeAndre Swift, I'm low on. I don't like him. I don't think I'm gonna pick him to start almost any week, but unless it's like Carolina. So yeah, that's who I got there. And then Drake May and CJ Stroud for quarterbacks for clear reasons. You got to wait and see what Drake May is gonna do. And then Njoku, Dalton Kincaid as the main one, like Colson Lovin and Evan Ingram. Those are my sits for tight ends. Kincaid, I think a lot of people are gonna like give me that. What? 46 passes for Josh Allen in that game last week. He got 4 catches, and he happened to get a touchdown. 46 passes and 4 targets is nothing. It was just that there was so much that he got a touchdown. Kincaid's not going to do it again this week. I can guarantee you. If you have another option, play them. Unless it's Njoku, Colson Loveland, or Evan Ingram. Mostly because Evan Ingram he looked limpy off of that injury, and he didn't do much last week either. So I need a few more weeks to see if he's actually going to be a part of that offense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
See, we do agree.
We do. Yeah, we agree on plenty. Yeah. We have our something here and there, but I totally agree. We totally agree. But yeah.
And who else was it? We were. I just remembered. Anyways.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was someone else. Can't remember now, but yeah. So that's like those are our start sits. Those are probably going to be two running like segments through the year, and I will shorten mine up. I kind of overdid it, I think this week.
No, I thought it was good. No.
Yeah. I didn't, I wasn't thinking of timing stuff, and also like it was a lot more of a mouthful than I expected it to be. So I'll probably clean it up for the next one. But the last segment I wanted to do before we, start getting our way out of here is our smash play of the week. I want to do this each week, and it's our favorite, in the start sit lineup stuff here. Obviously, I'm not going to be like CeeDee Lamb, like the flex player, I've said this already, but you get it. Who is the guy if your favorite, your number one favorite guy on the start sit line that you will start? Mine last week was Keon Coleman, just for the record, So I want to put that one out there. But yeah, I'm gonna have you give us your guy.
I have 2, and I'll tell you why I have 2. Originally, I picked one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Ricky Pearsall for the 49ers.
Nice. Yeah.
But we're still uncertain with Brock Purdy. So if he does not play Sunday, I have a backup, and that is actually Keon Coleman.
Okay.
But last week, Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Cardinals had 71 yards and a touchdown against the Saints. Ricky Pearsall, I think, coming off of week 1, tremendous stats. I think he comes into New Orleans or plays against you. I don't know if he's playing there or wherever, but I think he comes in and performs if Brock Purdy plays. If Mac Jones plays, I'm gonna just bump that a little over to Keon Coleman. But those are kind of 2 players right there.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. I think those are good options for sure. Pearsall, definitely relying on that. Unless people joke about if Mac Jones plays, is Pearsall going to get the BTJ treatment and just explode while Mac is playing? But I think it's mostly in jest. I don't think that happens. But You never know. But I say, yeah, Brock Purdy, if he's playing, Pearsall's a good choice. I'm a little torn. But I think the guy that I want to go with, it's going to be Terry McLaurin. I know it's a Thursday night game, and they're playing like a tough, seemingly so far, tough.
I hate Thursday games.
I know. They're always weird. They're playing seemingly so far tough Green Bay Packers defense. The thing that I feel like a lot of people don't recall is like, can you name one of their cornerbacks?
Good. That's a good question.
Can you name one? Yeah.
No,
because
I can't.
a very good friend of mine who's a absolute diehard Green Bay fan, before the season started, was like, I'm scared for this defense. As good as it is, it seems to be. Like, he's asked me that question: who are the cornerbacks? I was like, I don't know. I had to look it up. So, not knocking these guys like that. I don't think they're gonna play a much more well-rounded team, and Washington is going to put up points on this team. And I think Terry McLaurin, he's got some rhythm back. He got through his bad week. I think he's someone you put in your lineup and you expect to put up his normal. He's going to get a touchdown this week. I'm going to put money on it. Literally, I'm going to put money on Terry McLaurin scoring this weekend. Or tomorrow night. Jeez, him. And yeah, he'll be a great start for you this week. So that's my smash play of the week.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I agree. Everything but the Thursday game.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's the oddball players that watch it be Austin Eckler. Just watch. I'm telling you.
I know. Well, they're talking about JCM really being their like premier back. So
yeah.
My unfortunate thoughts on Eckler being worth a lot this year is probably not going to be right. I didn't think they would actually do this with JCM, but hey, more power to him. It's fun to watch. He's a good player. So yeah. Cool. Is there any final thoughts that you have on any of this? Anything you like, something that you really want to get across?
I mean, I guess after week one, it was just, I saw a lot of freaking out, I guess. Everybody kind of going into overdrive. It's just I think everyone has to just kind of relax and let it play out for week 2 and 3. I think after week 3, you're kind of I think you're going to get a good understanding of what teams are going to be doing, how they're going to be doing it, what players are going to be used where. I think in week 1, you just don't see enough. And when I'm saying this, I'm talking like, all right, Josh Allen doing what he did, we've seen it. That's going to happen. That's going to continue. Lamar Jackson, that's going to continue. Good players being bad, I don't freak out. Bad players being really good, I kind of usually chalk that up into, I lean more into that side of is this just kind of like a one-hit wonder? But I guess I'm saying all that just to say, breathe and relax. I think everything's fine. Don't sound the alarm just yet. Let's take week 2 to kind of analyze it. And I think you may be surprised that some players that didn't perform up to expectations kind of come back to earth. And then I think vice versa. Some players that really excelled that typically don't probably come back more down to earth.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it, man. Just relax.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Aaron Rodgers said it best, man. RELAX. Just relax. It's all going to be okay,
I do want to say one more thing. Please, if you have any questions, ask us. We love the questions. We love them.
Yeah.
And I will answer them on X, even though I'll be tempted to. We're going to save them for the show.
Yeah, well, we could do, put questions down in here. If you want us to answer them, just ask the question. If you want us to put it on an episode, just say so down in the comments down here. Just let us know, can you answer this one on the next show? And then just give us the question. Same thing with X. If you just hit us up, ask us questions. We're going to always put a tweet out for questions for the show. So if you look for those, and see them when we do that. Those will be answered on the show. And I said, because of the one we got the other day, the first question is locked. We will always answer the first question we get, like no matter what. So we'll try to answer as many as possible always, but there's only so much time in the show. So if we actually start getting a lot, like we'll put in like the first one will always be answered if you get it first. So yeah. My final thoughts really are sell high, buy low. This whole panic thing. Like don't try to do too much trading, big trades the first week, 2, maybe even 3, because we don't know what things are yet. But if you can get a guy like sell Javonte Williams for somebody who's panicking about McLaurin or Nico Collins, like that's the kind of, you touched on the whole like players having like a really good week that don't normally do that or aren't expected to, and you feel like it might have been a one-hit wonder. Try to use that to buy somebody that someone's panicking on. It helps like really build a good roster through the year. But yeah, just don't panic. I think the biggest takeaway today is don't panic, just relax. Yeah.
It's crazy you actually said trades, and I got one today that I'm like, I can't trade right now. I don't. There's just not enough.
Yeah.
To persuade me or lean me, which the trade was fine in itself, like the player for player.
Mm-hmm.
Would I ever do it? Like probably later on. No, I wouldn't. But my mind, more youth. I'm more youth and upside. But
right.
I was like, I can't trade something. I just don't. We don't know yet. Like I would be risking something that is unknown and possibly giving up something that is gonna probably hopefully win me a championship.
Right.
It's just like there's so much more meat left on that bone. Don't trade it just yet.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if you get offers though that make a lot of sense, like in Dynasty, I know we got to wrap this up, but you made me think of this. I got a trade done in Dynasty Monday night.
Oh, wow.
And I got Derrick Henry. I'm running back needy, right? This team is actually loaded. I have a stack team, but I'm just missing an extra running back. And I bought Derrick Henry for Jalen Warren, Quentin Johnson, and a 26 first. Like that's the epitome of sell high. What's that?
That's what you got in return.
No. I got Derrick Henry. I sold QJ, Jalen Warren, and a 26 first. Like, that's really the epitome of sell high.
Yeah. I mean, you just gave up a first.
Yeah, I really just gave up a first. I have Malik Neighbors, Marvin Johnson. Like, I have like a stacked team. In that department, I just needed a running back. And Derrick Henry, it's dynasty still. He's gonna play until he's like, I'm just bored with football. Like, he's a cyborg. He's gonna play for 8 more years. You're like, jokes aside, you're probably getting at least 3 more years out of him. So why not? Like, that's a perfect time to do something like that.
Did that trade Sunday? Monday, you said?
Monday during the night game. Yeah, I threw something small out there, like it was like Javonte Williams or something, and he replied with that, and I was like, bing, except I'll take it. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. It's a lot of people were like, oh my God. And I posted it on Twitter thinking, people would be like, oh, that's a good like move. They were roasting my guy in the league. He got some people were roasting him bad, but I didn't think it was that terrible. It's just a good
stuff. It just depends on where his team is at. And it sounds to me like he probably has some older pieces.
Yeah.
And youth is probably where he needs to be concentrating.
Yeah.
He's got 2 young players in the prize of the first.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And QJ, if QJ continues to do this, he might win the trade. I mean, shoot, like QJ, if he stays really good, his trade's just fine, and he needed wide receiver help. So, like, there's no people get too caught up in like the face value of trades. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, so cool. Well, this was fun. Episode 2. I'll be getting this to them soon, so we can put this out for everybody to see before the week starts. And we try to make sure we plug what we can before we go. It'll be in the description. We'll put in the Fantasy Sports Advice Network site. You can go on there and subscribe, get access to all of our videos from all of our channels, all sorts of articles and all sorts of things without even having to subscribe. There's extra stuff with that I keep forgetting to add into stuff for the video, but we'll put it in probably the description. And my ad up here. Follow me on there. Chris, parting words.
Same thing. There's my ad. Hopefully next time you see us, we have some cool thunder and lightning. Look like rock stars, man.
Yeah, we need all the lightning.
I don't know what it is with the lightning. I'm just it's just cool, man.
The show is electric. That's why.
There you go. I like it. Yeah. That's a tagline.
Yeah, the show is electric.
I love it.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, we look forward to hopefully getting questions from you guys and seeing you again next week. Enjoy some football this weekend. Hopefully you win your matchups and these start sips work out for you. So thank you for joining us, and have yourselves a very good weekend.
Yes, sir.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.